I am going to fulfill a couple of requests today. Someone asked for sweet and sour chicken wings, and somebody else asked for something Chinese. Anything Chinese. Well, sweet and sour chicken seems to satisfy both, so that's what I want to make today. Let's make sweet and sour chicken. The original recipe called for chicken wings. I'm using chicken thighs because wings are expensive, and for what you get, which is mostly bones and skin, I think thighs are better. However, to get these thighs to look somewhat or like chicken wings, I'm going to cut them into long strips like so. See, that's a chicken wing, sort of. All right. I can get 4 out of each of these chicken thighs. This is the last of my chicken thighs. I have 4 of these. Total weight is about 1.5 pounds or 680 grams. You could, if you wanted to, chop these across and make them more like bite-sized pieces that might be easier to eat with chopsticks, but I'm going to leave these long like that. Into a small saucepan, I'm putting 1 cup, 200 grams of granulated sugar, and 1 cup, 240 milliliters of cider vinegar. And then I made a mistake. I'm adding 1/2 cup, 110 grams of ketchup. I should have added this afterwards because I'm going to dissolve that sugar, and it's a lot easier to see when the sugar is dissolved if I wait to add the ketchup after the sugar is dissolved, but that's okay. Stir over the heat until the sugar is dissolved. You don't need to bring it up to boiling. You just need to dissolve the sugar. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. The original recipe called for reduced sodium soy sauce. I don't have it, so I'm using what I've got. Next, I'm adding some chicken bouillon, 1 teaspoon, just for a little bit of flavor. You can use the granules if you want, but I've got that better than bouillon chicken flavored paste that I like. Stir well to combine everything. I'm doing this over a medium-low heat. Nothing special here, just mix until it's well combined. The next step is to slow cook everything. You could use a crock pot, or you could use an instant pot, which I'm not going to use, but the instant pot, at least mine does, it has a slow cook function. I did some research. Crock pots cook at about 185 degrees Fahrenheit or 85 degrees Celsius. My induction cooker allows me to cook by temperature rather than high, medium, low. So I'm going to set it to 185 degrees, and thereby I'm going to turn this saucepan into a crock pot. After placing all the chicken pieces inside, I'm pushing them down to get them all nicely coated, and then finally put a lid on the pan and cook for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours later, my chicken is done. You can use a slotted spoon. I'm going to use a spider, and I'm going to transfer this cooked chicken to a bowl to set aside because I need to work on that sauce next. And by the way, if you have a lot of fat on the top of the sauce, now would be a good time to skim it off and discard it. I didn't have any because I trimmed the chicken thighs myself and I eliminated most of the fat. In a medium-ish bowl, I'm adding 1/2 cup of cold water. That was in the refrigerator, by the way. And then I'm adding 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And with a whisk, I'm going to mix this until it's really nicely combined. I poured that cornstarch mixture into this pan, which I thought I had videoed, but it turns out I didn't, but that's okay. You know what I did. I'm stirring this all together, bringing it to a simmer, and then I'm going to cook this, just simmering it for 2 minutes until it's well thickened. Now would be a good time to taste for salt, especially if you used a low sodium soy sauce, which I didn't. Still needs a little bit of salt. I'm going to put a pinch of salt in there and then whisk that in to combine, and that should be good enough. Finally, return the chicken back to the sauce and bring up the heat a little bit because this needs to be heated now. It's been cooling, So this needs to be heated to serving temperature. And then to show off my lousy plating skills, I'm going to put plenty of white rice on this plate. And then I'm going to spoon some chicken onto this plate. Plenty of chicken. This is a big plate of food. I normally don't eat this much. Half of that would be a good meal for me, but plates look better in a video when they're full. Got to get a little bit of sauce on the counter. And then because I like the flavor of it, I'm going to put the sauce on my rice. And then to make it look nice, garnish it with a little bit of sesame seed. So there it is, my sweet and sour chicken. First time ever I made sweet and sour chicken, but it sure looks good. It is. That is very nice. Gonna taste some of my rice with this sauce on it. That is good. That is really good. All right, excuse me. I'm going to go enjoy a late lunch, early dinner of my sweet and sour chicken.